Have you ever tried to imagine what it feels like for your mind to be, I don't know, like a rocket launching and a huge storm hitting all at the same time?
That's a powerful way to put it.
Yeah, well, Marya Hornbacher's book, Madness, A Bipolar Life, it really throws you right into that feeling. So today, we're going to unpack her incredibly honest look at bipolar disorder, addiction, and, that search we all have for some kind of identity when everything feels chaotic. How do you find solid ground when your own mind keeps shifting?
Exactly. And that's the core question she explores, isn't it? Her memoir gives this incredibly personal viewpoint, but it's also clinically sharp. It offers insights that, honestly, you just don't get from a textbook.
Okay, so let's get into Marya's journey then. It starts pretty early for her, right? And there's this stark difference between the manic highs, that feeling of being invincible, this flood of creativity, energy that just can't be contained. And then the flip side, those crushing lows, just despair, self-harm, even suicidal thoughts. She captures the extremes, makes you almost feel the disorientation.
Yeah, what's really striking, I think, is how she shows that bipolar isn't just, having mood swings. It's this full-on emotional and cognitive, tsunami, really. It shapes every single part of your life.
The tsunami, that's a good word for it.
And she points out how that manic phase can feel so good, so brilliant sometimes, that it actually hides the illness underneath, makes getting help harder, takes longer.
Right, which kind of leads into the next really tough part of her story.
Yeah.
That constant fight inside, it pushes people, like Marya, towards trying to find external ways to cope.
The self-medication.
Yeah, exactly. Her struggle with alcohol and drugs is laid bare. It really shows that human instinct to grasp for control when life feels out of control. What stands out to you about that link between bipolar and addiction?
Well, it's the danger, really, of these co-occurring disorders. When bipolar symptoms aren't treated, they can become this, siren call towards destructive coping patterns.
Makes sense.
But, even as all that chaos, Marya finds these moments of incredible clarity, of self-awareness. It's quite remarkable. Her story really drives home that empathy requires understanding both sides, the brilliance and the breakdown.
And she writes about it all with such clinical accuracy, too. She explains this sort of brain chemistry behind mania and depression, dopamine, serotonin cycles, but it never feels detached. It's always deeply personal, deeply emotional.
Absolutely.
And she really hammers home how things like stigma, shame, and just general misunderstanding from society make mental illness so much worse. It just highlights why we need these honest conversations.
Precisely. Her lived experience really challenges that old damaging idea that mental illness is some kind of character flaw or weakness.
Right.
Instead, she shows it's this profound complexity, and getting any real understanding, it has to start with listening. Listening to these raw stories of survival, insight, and eventually finding a way to reach self-acceptance. She shows that just acknowledging the struggle is the first step to owning your own story.
So boiling it all down, what does this mean? Madness isn't just a memoir. It feels more like a guide, maybe. A really raw testimony that shows how being vulnerable can actually be transformative.
Right.
For her as the writer, and definitely for us reading it.
And it's so important for caregivers, therapists, family, friends, too. It pushes for compassion instead of judgment. Hugely important.
So here's something to think about. What if genuine progress in understanding mental health isn't just about the clinical side, the diagnoses, the treatments, but it's also fundamentally about leaning into the uncomfortable, really vital truths that people share through incredibly courageous stories like Marya Hornbacher's? Something powerful to consider.
This video is presented by International Psychology Association.